Thank you very much. And dear friends of UKIP, thank you for inviting me to the UK. It's an honor to be a guest at your UK Independence Party. I am the delegation leader of the Party for Freedom in the Netherlands, the party of Geert Wilders. And we have... He would love this, so I will tell him when I come back that he got an ovation from you. Well, we had about 17% of the votes with the last election of the European Parliament. In the polls now, we are steady at about 20% of the votes. So I'm very proud of that for a young party as us, but we have another system as you, so I'm aware of the difficulties that UKIP has in getting into the national parliament. But we have the representative system. I heard it called like that, but for us it was much easier. Well, my party, the Party for Freedom in the Netherlands, has achieved many amazing things in the last years. We have successfully started to roll back the process of Islamization and mass immigration to the Netherlands. And we have done so in a peaceful way and through democratic process. So it can be possible. But we also have another very important task ahead of us. A task for defending our nation state against another great threat. The threat of losing our country to the bureaucrats in Brussels. Because without a nation state, without self-governance, and without self-determination, there can be no security for people nor preservation of its identity. And Europe is not a nation, it's a cluster of nations. And the strength of Europe is its diversity. We are one family, but we live in different countries. And our cultures are branches of a common Judeo-Christian and humanist culture. But we have different national cultural identities, and that is how it should be. And this is why our task is to inform the people about the threat of Europeanization. And by Europeanization, I mean the ideology which posits that our sovereign nation states have to submerge in a pan-European superstate. In this way, the peoples of Europe are robbed of their sovereignty, which is transferred to faraway Brussels. And decisions are now being taken behind closed doors by unelected bureaucrats. And this is not the kind of government we want. What we want is less Europe. We want to hold on to our sovereignty. We want home rule. We want to remain independent and free. We want to be masters in our own house. We want less Europe. In December 1991, the Maastricht Treaty called for a single European currency. That's where we are in, and you are not, obviously, and be happy for that. Because we offered the Dutch guilder and the D-mark, the Dutch mark, on the altar of European unification. And Helmut Kohl sold this project to the German people as, I quote, a matter of war or peace. The euro was presented as an angel of peace, which the Germans had to sponsor by giving up the Deutschmark. And during the past 6 decades, German politicians have told the German that the nation state, and especially Germany, was so dangerous that it has to be emasculated. The Germans had to become Europeans instead of Germans. To achieve this political project, national and monetary sovereignty was relinquished. Economic and national interests were sacrificed on the political altar of so-called Europeanization. All other countries who joined the euro lost the power to adjust their currency to their own needs. And they all have suffered as consequence. The European monetary system has allowed some countries to get a free ride at the expense of others. While those who cheat are in a position to blackmail those who have to foot the bill. This charade has to stop. The European monetary system... The European monetary system is deeply flawed. It's also immoral. As Theodor Herzl said, the character of people may be ruined by charity. This applies for those at the receiving end of charity, but also for those who donate it. The so-called pan-European solidarity is literally ruining us. My friends, your UK Independence Party embodies the best hope for the UK. Because your party is the only party in the UK which has the courage to stand loud and clear that the United Kingdom must be free and sovereign, free from Brussels bureaucrats. And at this time, the European leaders state that the only way to solve the current crisis is more European governance. They advocate more powers for Brussels, and they are so wrong. More Europe only makes matters worse. We have to oppose their attempt of further centralization. We do not want more Europe. The EU lacks democracy, it lacks accountability and transparency, and that is why we reject it. As a former national legislator in the Netherlands, I experience day by day how little we have to say about our own fate. We are expected to rubber stamp laws which have been made by the EU Council of Ministers. The 27 EU commissioners convene behind closed doors with their colleagues. They negotiate in secret and they emerge to announce their agreement and present it. And above that, the Netherlands are cursed with the single currency, the euro, a failed project. The taxpayers in the Netherlands are not willing to pay for the debts of other countries. We do not want to spend our taxpayers' money on Eurozone countries such as Greece. Let those who cheated us, who have mismanaged their economy, or who have foolishly lived beyond their means, let them take care of themselves. And above that, the EU treaties forbid bailouts. And it's still happening. And my Party for Freedom opposes to every bailout. And the Dutch minority government will never be able to count on our support in this regard. Today, its wrong-headed Euro policies are supported by the Europhile leftist parties. We will never support Dutch government's approval of the bailouts, not even if the government would lose the support of the left. We have voted and we will vote against every plan to bail out other countries. Sovereign countries have to take care of their own needs. That is what sovereignty is all about. Freedom and the ability to take care of oneself. And our peoples resent the fact that they have to pay for others. Our peoples resent the permanent alienation of power from their nation states. They care about their nation because they care about democracy and freedom and the well-being of our children. They see their democratic rights and their age-old liberties symbolized in our national flag. But there is more. National identity also ties an individual to an inheritance, a tradition, a loyalty, and a culture. National identity is also an inclusive identity. It considers everyone to be equal, whatever his religion or race, who is willing to assimilate into a nation by sharing the fate and future of a people. My friends, we need to give political power back to the nation state in the name of democracy, in the name of freedom, in the name of human dignity. By defending our nation state, we defend our own identity. And by defending our own identity, we defend our liberties. And by defending our liberty, we defend our dignity. I urge you, stand up for the nation state and be proud of your country. In his farewell address, as American President Ronald Reagan said that the thing he was most proud of in his presidency was, I quote, the resurgence of national pride that I called the new patriotism. And Europe needs new patriots. Europe needs dozens of new patriots. We need true Finns. We need true Danes. We need true Frenchmen, true Dutchmen, and my friends, we need true British. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I have said enough and it's time to act. We must make haste. Time is running out for the UK and for the Netherlands and for all other great nations of Europe. And as Ronald Reagan said, we need to act today to preserve tomorrow. You stand for the UK, I stand for the Netherlands, others stand for Switzerland, Denmark, Finland and all these other beautiful freedom-loving nations of Europe. Together we represent the nations of Europe. We don't need a European Union to have a free market and we don't need to have a European Union to have free trade. We don't need a European Union to have peace. We don't need a European Union to cooperate as countries. So the European Union is really obsolete. Lastly, I would thank our great leaders Geert Wilders, Nigel Farage and Timo Soinen for their wisdom, bravery and courage. And I especially thank all our brave citizen voters for standing behind us. Together we will stand firm, together we will defend our freedoms, and together we will remain free. I thank you very much.